Right, continue. I think we have the Employee of the Month. Pass it around.
Are we sitting? Everyone, I have chosen Amy Tilley as the pass it forward. She has worked here for quite a number of years and has really brought a lot of her talents to the college. The reason I've chosen her is I've actually worked with her on quite a few projects. Some of the projects she's taken care of is the roundabouts, different remodels here, the welding lab. And one of the things that I really enjoy working with her, for the reason I enjoy working with her, is problems that come up on every job. And it seems like it's always, she looks at it as a challenge and focuses on finding the answer to that instead of focusing just on the problem or who's to blame. So, like I said, I really enjoyed working with her. I am looking forward to working with her on different projects. The other thing is, she'll be the first one to tell you that she doesn't know it all, but she does know someone that does know that specialty. She'll be on the phone, and within minutes, she'll be in contact with someone that does specialize in that area. So I really want to thank Amy for her dedication here.
And I think Mary Dee wants to say something as well.
Well, Madam Chair, members of the board, I talked a lot about Dobby last time and how fabulous he is. You can't imagine what it's like to try to do $60 million worth of bonds, and 50% of those are small projects. And Amy Tilley and Linda Boyce and Dobby and the staff has done an amazing job at managing these. I've never seen them lose it. They stay calm. They even help me when I'm losing it. And they've just done such a great job. It's just such a pleasure to see the two of them here at the same time and getting this award. Amy's been outstanding. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you. This really does actually mean a lot to me. I have chosen education as my career after spending many years in a variety of corporate environments in throughout the United States. And I wanted to leave those environments because I didn't like the focus on profit margins. And I needed to have what I called worthwhile work. And I came over to Santa Fe Community College. And I've been very proud of being part of Santa Fe Community College, and I am truly grateful for what I get to do here. I see my role as a stage setter, and I get to do that in a variety of ways, making people go around and around outside, or helping set up other things that we have in the classrooms, or even in the accounting departments and everything else. So I actually have to say thank you to Santa Fe Community College for letting me have an amazing time here over almost 10 years now, and I'm not going anywhere.
Congratulations. I remember Amy 10 years ago when she was a promising star. Now the promise has been achieved. Congratulations. Teresa, any public comments?
Madam Chair, we have 4 public comments this evening. The first is Carmen Stone.
Please come forward.
Left.
All right.
Okay, the next is Matt Sherman.
Matt, let me tell you,
5 minutes.
we don't react to your presentation. We listen very carefully. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I have a few suggestions, requests for you to consider. Please consider budgeting staff for the TATC regarding lab technicians and administrators for the biofuels program in order to write grants, connect with the private sector, identify and organize instructors, maintain and oversee equipment in the labs. Why, you ask? Because energy and food are 2 of the top 10 industries in the government, and are 2 of the top 10 industries. And government money will be going toward education in these areas of critical human need. Also, nutraceuticals for pharmaceutical industry is another area that the TATC Biofuels program addresses. The TATC's Biofuels program has brought to SFCC $800,000 over 4 years. $500,000 went to the Biofuels Center for Excellence. Supporting this program is essential as we go ahead in the future, moving away from fossil fuels. We need to educate and train about low carbon food and fuel. Creating a full loop system with local stakeholders is a more secure system than one dominated by centralized corporate values. The modules in the biofuels program could enable students to develop the business of the future, and SFCC could build the prototype of an integrated food and fuel system, which will attract many students from around the world in addition to the local community. A lot of work from the program has already led to student success in entrepreneurship and jobs, giving students opportunities for a bright future thanks to SFCC. Another request, please support student ambassadors. They spoke just a moment ago. Request for funds and support. SFCC needs school spirit and education about sustainable efforts. As a part of the Societal Responsibility Council, we speak about the need to get students involved with the SFCC sustainable efforts, such as zero waste initiatives. Ernest Kavanaugh and student ambassadors have been tapping into the students' enthusiasm to learn and leading them in valuable moral concepts such as leadership and responsibility. I'm hoping to get top-down support from the board and president, plus develop bottom-up support for the sustainable issues at SFCC. Together we can succeed in raising awareness about saving the earth from ourselves and producing more well-rounded students whose definition of success includes a healthy planet for future generations. Another request. Please budget money for Earth Week, Solar Fiesta, and America Recycles Day by matching the monies committed by student government. Discussion in student government to dedicate money toward expenditures that represent our values, such as educational outreach, student experience, and family values. These values can be expressed during these events. It is a good opportunity for the board, administration, and GROW to get their messages and express values to the students and community. With a larger budget, we can create a united vision for these events, sharing the message to deliver and duties to be performed. The organizers of these events could use some assistance from the marketing department and professionals working for SFCC. By affording keynote speakers, the school could raise money for peripheral presenters and companies due to keynote speakers attracting many people. Another request. Please add to the budget for positions regarding zero waste resolution. Show zero waste is important by giving the faculty and staff what they need to succeed. Composting and reducing greenhouse gases saves lives and the future of the earth for future generations. Another request. Please provide better feedback loops for the public by putting all financial reports online in a PDF format for free. As a stakeholder, I should not have to pay a large amount to copy financial materials, annual reports, quarterly reports, a synopsis of board meetings. Finally, well, not finally. And then another thing is, as change is occurring, please don't forget about the soft skills such as communicating with students and community and customer service. Unfortunately, people remember the bad experiences and not all the good. The Robert Salazar debacle could have been handled better. Student impressions should be considered important. I'd like to end this by saying that I think Randy Grissom is a great dean and a gentleman. I'd also like to say that Alex has been an excellent student government president. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next comment is from Tony. However, I can't read the last name. Okay. Dana Jones.
Yep, that would be me. Oh boy. I suppose, Madam President, and I don't know the logistics, Madam, all board members, but thank you, Alex, for a wonderful SGA experience. I'm here today regarding the firing of Robert Salazar. As a future graduate, soon-to-be alumni, I'd like a reason why I should contribute or raise funds for the school when there's no transparency. So I don't know the rules regarding community colleges, but today, from Randy Grissom as well as the new president, I would like an explanation as to why the best teacher besides Zuby and Brian and Judy Pino and the other teachers, I've been coming here for 12 years. I was told that this is my time to ask a question and express. I could have asked you personally, each one of you personally, your reasons.
Excuse me, I'm
But-
going to invite our legal representative to speak.
I realize that you may not be able to comment on this matter, but I think you should be able to just give as a student. I specifically went through 4 semesters of, and I figured they'd bring the legal people in, whatever, but 4 semesters of that.
Excuse me, we
And-
have to,
Sorry, if I may, Madam Chair, the public comment section is supposed to be for matters of public interest and not for specific grievances. I believe the agenda makes that clear, and so my suggestion would be perhaps that we address this in another forum and not.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I can agree to that.
Yes.
But I find it disgusting and reprehensible as to why he would be yanked in the middle of the semester, the best teacher.
Okay, thank you so much for your
I
comment.
came today to see that.
Is that the last public comment? Thank you so much. I have been asked to have Josh Marimoto moved up to talk about strategic planning since he spent 24 hours here. He needs a little nap before breakfast.
Madam Chairs, members of the board, Madam President, I have Reese Fulton here with me, which is one of our very talented, very dedicated consultant, which will be happy to give some updates about the strategic planning process.
Madam Chair, members of the board, and President Guzman, I've learned a lot since I got involved in this process. And as a facilitator, an independent facilitator, I've been involved in a lot of strategic planning processes. And this is a very robust process, in my opinion. So far, there are 2 sides to it. There's an internal side and the external side, and both are focused on getting and receiving many valuable voices. On the internal side, there's been a survey accomplished with 853 responses from different communities on campus. That's a tremendous response. And that response occurred because of students, because of Yash going out there and really pushing people to get their responses in. We've had also 3 focus groups to date. We had the first one was 35 people last Friday. We had 47 people. Today we had a focus group for 3 hours with 85 people. And there'll be 2 one-half-day workshops on the February 2nd and 3rd, which will be in the Hamus rooms from 1 to 5. And everyone in this room is invited. And I want to just mention, since we had such a spectacular presentation of student ambassadors and student leaders, many of those students were at our focus group today, speaking out, adding their wise, talented, amazing voices to the process. And I want the board members and the president to just reflect how wonderful that presentation was, and know that those students, not only did you see them here, but they were part of the faculty and staff and students in the focus groups and adding their wonderful, talented, wise voices to the whole strategic planning effort. We will also have a board retreat, and then we'll be merging that internal process with an external process, which is now started with a survey that's online and will be mailed out to different groups around Santa Fe. And then there'll be focused meetings with different important groups like the Chamber of Commerce, the health industry, I think the government representatives, as well as LANL. And I think that again, is a robust effort to really bring in and get input from a lot of different voices, both externally and internally. And the process is separated because we're respecting the time. I think there are different needs and different focuses from the internal people in this college as well as the community. The community is doing a lot of different things, so we're respecting their time and we're asking them different questions, and we're going to them independently, not part of the internal process, to get a really good, to tap into that really good resource. I think that's really what it's all about, and that's what we're hearing in these focus groups is please tap into the talent and the skills that we have internally and the talents and the skills that we have in the greater community. And I think in terms of important things to consider during this process is how we need to support each other very much, and we have to understand that change or transition, as we all know, is usually the most, probably in a way, a dangerous moment, because people can be fearful, people can get stuck, people can make assumptions, people can start rumors. It's a hard time. Well, any transition in life is a hard time, and it's same here, same for a great institution like Santa Fe Community College. But change can also cause alertness, clarity, opportunities, deeper understanding, renewed commitment, renewed passion, building on the past. And I think all of us can behave in such a way and cause those positive things to happen during the strategic planning process. I think I told the group today, I embarrassed your Yash here. I've seen him really reach out to every different segment of this community in such a way. And I made some comments about how full of integrity Yash is. And a group, 85 people, could have sat there and heard that and gone on. But when I finished, everyone applauded. And there was real body language around a person who's leading a very legitimate process. And as an independent facilitator, I have to say I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was legitimate. I fire clients. And this one I'll never fire because I believe in you guys so much. So things that I would like to emphasize that are important right now is supporting each other, behaving in such a way that the positive things that can come out of change will happen. I really ask you during even this transition time and the strategic planning time to celebrate why Santa Fe Community College is so great, and to search for opportunities to even make the college, the institution, and the people there better and more excellent. And I'd like to finish by saying that on Friday, we had a lot of important feedback about tapping into resources, about increasing communication, about behaving and preaching practicing what we preached, and focusing on students and communities. And below all of those comments, and it was a lot of feeling expressed, was a continued sense of commitment, of passion, and of hope in that room. And one young man, who's a staff member here, stood up and said when he got here, he was pretty defeated. That was his words. And he said, and now I feel so empowered. And it wasn't just a person. It wasn't a specific person that did that for me. It was the institution. And we've all worked in a lot of different institutions. And institutions don't have to do that. The culture can be very demeaning or can be neutral. But he said it's not about a specific person. He said the institution, the culture here empowered him, and he is a bright, wonderful, talented leader in your community now. And so we just need to continue to do what we're doing, improve on it, stay alert, and even if we just turn the prism of Santa Fe Community College, which I find it is a prism, it's a bright light, it's a wonderful resource to Santa Fe. If we just turn it ever so slightly in the strategic planning process, we will all be seeing a different color of light. We'll be all seeing something a little bit better, and you're overseeing what's, in my opinion, a very important, very robust, and very honest process.
Thank you.
And any questions, I'll try and answer.
So the community survey that's being mailed out, so what are we asking people?
There's a survey currently on the website that's open to the public. And if it asks a number of questions, what do you think of SFCC? Why do you have that opinion? Because we really want to understand what's one of the things that we're doing great about. What are the things that people really care about on our community? And it also asks about, within the next 5 years, what areas does the community like to see us focus our resources? So it asks a pretty extensive list of questions and gives an option for people to actually write comments. And then we ask a bunch of other open-ended questions where we try to really get feedback of what they think is important to them. What makes SFCC such a great place, and what additional things can we do to help make this community even a better place? And I've opened it, we actually put it up on our website today. We're going through a marketing campaign, but out of the 10 responses that I've seen so far, just putting on our website, that one of the most valuable information we're getting is their comments about what made them love this college. And there's really strong support for this community college, which makes me really proud to be part of.
And then we're going to be mailing it out to...
There's going to be also a focus, other people. There is a list that the marketing department, the Office of Marketing and Public Relation has put together in terms of key stakeholders in the community. We'll email to them and say, look, please click on this link, respond, please tell us what your workforce needs are, what are the soft skills that needs to be developed, what are some of the other areas that's actually room for growth, what are the challenges they're facing in terms of the workforce, what can we do to really help enhance Santa Fe's economy.
Okay. And the focus group questions? Then I'll let Martha. What are some of the focus group questions?
Are you talking about from the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the focus groups, I'm not sure which. For the internal focus groups we've really been focusing on the mission statement and the value statements. And we did a survey at the beginning of April, and it was a week long. The reason it was so successful, with such a high return, was really because I need to give it to the credits to the students and everybody else who's been part of the strategic planning coordinating group. They worked really hard in developing the survey. And then the students worked really hard to try to get people to come and fill out the survey. We had kiosks lined up in the hallway where people could come and take the survey. Students were helping people who were not always comfortable with taking online surveys, how to click, how to answer those questions. Great. And then we put it online, and then everybody, all the community really got behind. There was a letter from the president. There was a letter from the staff senate. There was a letter, email. I'm sorry, when I say letter, I really mean emails. Emails from the staff senate, emails from the student government, from the faculty senate. So a lot of people kept sending out emails. It was sort of actually interesting. As I saw the different emails go out, the responses just go whoop. Every time the new email went out, there was like additional responses. And the feedback we got and the information we got of it was so valuable, so honest, that I'm hoping that we continue with the process with that kind of feedback, that kind of involvement, to make this truly a successful strategic planning process.
And are you compiling that data?
Yes.
That raw data?
Yes, and that was actually been presented today, and it's been presented at every single one of these forums/focus groups. Like I said, we started with 35. I was really nervous at the beginning. I was like, is anybody going to come? But then everybody came, and everybody was honest. Everybody shared and talked about what was important to them. So it's been such a humbling experience to see the community involvement and their interest and really genuine commitment to our institution.
And then what happens with that raw data?
So the raw data that we collected from the survey has been compiled, and that's been shared so as a feedback. But we don't want to have just the survey be the primary source, the only source where we actually make decisions. So we discussed that responses. In some cases, people are saying different things were important. So now we're going back to these forums where we're talking about trying to narrow it down. We had 5 potential mission statements that the strategic planning coordinating group put together, and that was a group that consisted of staff, faculty, and students. And so we're now going back to this forum, we're sharing the results, saying that these are the top 2, what do you think? Was there some other mission statements that we should really think about? How can we improve it? So now I have the wonderful task of collecting all the information, once again, compiling it so that it's easy for people to understand and sort of share it at the 2 half-day retreats.
But more information is coming out than just mission statement and.
Yes, it's a wide range of different areas that people feel passionate about is coming out.
Okay, thank you.
Josh, I have a question. I attended this afternoon session, and I was impressed with the analysis that you did of the surveys. But I understand that those are largely opinions, as most of the information that you're currently gathering. What I'm curious about is what kind of information summaries you might be providing people so that they can give you more informed opinions, so that they can give you more informed ideas about trends, about job force, about all of the kinds of things that that we can all talk about from the top of our heads, but that we don't have any data to understand.
Madam Chair, member of the boards, you're making me extremely happy by asking me those data questions. As many of you are aware, I love data. Data is my passion. So with joy, I could respond that I'm putting together a presentation for people to be sharing, to talk about it, doing the 2 half-day retreats, and I'm hoping to actually share that presentation before the meeting, so that for those people who are actually interested could go really deep as they want to in terms of all the different elements of data. So let me give you some examples. We've been collecting workforce data. There's some excellent reports that came out in terms of the Santa Fe economy. We have data on students who are here for lifelong learning. We have data on remediation. We have data on graduation. We have data on job projections. We have data about retention. So I'm really excited to be sharing this kind of information with the wider campus community, and to have an informed decision-making process where we could really use data and just discuss, about what should be the direction for the college.
What are the possibilities of providing that kind of information to the survey takers?
I think that would be a wonderful thing. I think one of the things we want to do is really share as much information as much as possible, so that we could all sort of come behind sort of a rational decision making, informed decision making. I'm sorry, that's what I really meant. Informed decision making about what are the priorities for the college.
Josh, what was the report? You prepared a report that's I forget how it's called.
All about graduation?
No.
The Merrimack scan?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, because I think that report is useful, and what Yash has been doing since August is he has been having meetings with faculty and staff to report on the key performance indicators and the data that he has been gathering. And he is a sellout at every staff development time. I mean, it is standing room only. And so it really looks like the faculty and the staff have awakened to Yasha's passion of data and are really interested in looking at how we're doing in the data, the longitudinal trends of the data, and how to utilize that data.
So it might be nice if the board got copies of all that.
Right. We're prepared to share that information with the board members of May 1st. But hopefully even sooner. I mean, we have such a large packet of information we're currently in the process of organizing it all ways so that it makes sense. One of the things that I really strongly believe in is making sure that the information we provide is easy to understand and is useful. And it's such a wide, huge, long range of information. Last time, one of my staff members was working hard on Barbara Gregel, when we talked about it, we had over 160 slides. And so we're in the process of maybe separating those different chapters, as well as to have a shorter executive summary version so that the key points are explained. So I ask for your patience as we're providing it. We'll have that ready as soon as possible, and it's our great pleasure to share that with you and the rest of the campus.
I have to say that this is one of the most comprehensive strategic plans I have ever participated in, and I spent a lifetime in education. I really am very impressed with y'all's work.
Thank you. If I'm ever successful, it's because of the people who are involved in this process. It's really not me. I go around and saying, please help me, and people are just lining up, and it's thanks to their real help that if this is successful, all the credit goes to them, not me. But thank you.
And with one thing, it's when the strategic plan is over, we've all seen them going on a shelf. And what Yash has built into this, and President Guzman, is maybe even a biannual review of measuring how you're doing. If you want to get to a goal and you can't measure it, you'll never get to the goal. Right. And so they've got this built into this process, so it won't go on a shelf. It'll continue to make Santa Fe Community College servicing in an excellent and a high-performing way its students and the community in Santa Fe. And I think that's really remarkably different than most strategic planning efforts that I've been involved in.
Thank you.
And this is really important.
Yes, thank you so
and
much.
I want to thank Reese, and I want to thank Rosemary Romero for their advice in this process. I went out in the community and asked, who were the best consultants that could help us in really developing a strategic plan that would be a living document and that would not go up on the shelf, but that we would, on an annual basis, on a biannual basis, review the mission, the vision, the values, and how we were accomplish them through the key performance indicators. And Reese, I want to thank you, and Rosemary, you really have guided us in a way that makes this process with high integrity and the largest component of people being interested in participating. So thank you so much.
Madam Chair, a quick question. Could you send us schedules of when those focus groups are going to take place with different interests around the community? So if someone contacts us and wants to be a part, we can send them to the appropriate one?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
That's good. Thank you.
You know, May 2nd and 3rd from 1 to 5 are some very good workshops going to happen. You're all invited. Everybody in the room is invited. I think they will be very structured, and we'll move this process forward another chapter. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we're going to go back to the order that we have here in our agenda. And next is Faculty Senate report. Clark.
Keith, Ms. Siegel. This evening, I would like to read a statement, please. Faculty Senate held 3 meetings this week, Monday, Tuesday, and last evening. And this opinion is the product of those concentrated meetings.
May I make a comment before you start? Yes, ma'am, please. I read the letter that I have here, and I noticed there are no signatures. Could you tell us an idea how many people participated to see how?
Yes, ma'am, 15.
15?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we have how many faculty? 300 about?
There's 300 and some. Faculty Senate quorum is 7. And this represents a body of opinion that has been in Faculty Senate for the past 2.5 months, and it finds its way here today.
It's about 5% of the total faculty, about?
I would say, you're welcome to check and see, but the opinion, I would say, is broadly held. I'm sure there's some alternative opinion about it, and I would like to present it.
Why didn't they sign? Why isn't this?
I can address that through the process, I believe. I think there's a trepidation for identification. It kind
of loses a little bit of the value and the credibility when it's an anonymous document, in my opinion. But
I'm here to represent it with all the truth and forthrightness and honesty I have in my heart.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Clark, are you a represented body? Are you an elected body that represents a faculty?
The officers are elected. There are 4 officers.
And does the faculty, is everyone on the faculty on the Senate, in the Senate?
Everyone whose primary role or relationship with the college is considered a member of Faculty Senate should they choose to attend and participate.
I see.
It is representational in that you'll get more people sometimes and others at less time. My role as chair, I interpret to represent the voice of the constituency, whatever form that may take. I tend to moderate it and present it with, integrity and my capability.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Please go forward.
Thank you. This document is read on behalf of Faculty Senate with the input from concerned full-time and adjunct faculty membership. There is presently a high level of dissatisfaction on this campus due to, 1, the quality process as practiced in AQUIP and Baldrige-based models requires mechanisms for input and participation from key stakeholders, in the belief that consensus decision-making leads to better decisions and develops an engaged faculty and staff. There's a deep perception that requests for feedback are not sincere because timely feedback is often rejected, not incorporated, and major decisions are already being implemented. It appears to faculty that requests for feedback are afterthoughts and done simply to create the appearance of compliance with AQUIP quality processes. The process for input and feedback must be transparent with an established, clear, and safe process so people are not fearful of being targeted for retaliation. This does not appear to be a quality process. The Shared Governance Policy 1-11, as it exists, voices a well-articulated process for review and appeal that ultimately involves the SFCC governing board in final decisions affecting faculty. This process embodies a series of checks and balances that serves to support SFCC as a quality institution. The existing Shared Governance Policy 1-11 is a product of collaborative work by SFCC, faculty, staff, administration, and the governing board. Faculty strongly believes that any changes to Policy 1-11 must be minor, retaining the protocols and protections enshrined in the current policy. Faculty and staff input and shared decision-making on any policies involving personnel and faculty issues are essential. 1A, we propose that all requests for feedback with the decision-making process also be submitted to the faculty and staff senates and also made available publicly. In this way, requests for input are not scattered among individuals without a process for collective review. This process would necessitate a longer time frame and allow for insightful, clear-minded, and intelligent decisions to be made. 1B, minutes for quality councils must be consistently posted on JAC so that employees can understand and give input into how decisions are made in these committees. Article 2, timing. The perception is that the strategic plan and academic reorganization is happening too fast to allow for sincere, insightful, intelligent input from the faculty and staff due to the implementation occurring at the end of the 2012-2013 academic year. This does not appear to be a quality process. 2A, we propose that the reorganization be delayed until 2014-2015 to allow time for accurate and detailed budgetary analysis. This will permit a more comprehensive and engaged participation by all stakeholders whom this affects. This will also permit the strategic plan to occur before a major reorganization. Excuse me just a second. Article 3, the undervaluation of staff. Decisions made by the president to cut back on local administrative support within each school without a thorough investigation of the true needs of each school appears to be guesswork without involving the necessary research. It appears as if the president has concluded that administrative support was not working at full potential or it is not needed. It is unclear to faculty how the administration arrived at these decisions. Thus, the amount of administrative support allocated in the current academic reorganizational model appears to fall short. This does not appear to be a quality process. 2A, we propose each school submits a projected workload with the expected number of admins required to meet this workload. That the president submit her rationale for these cutbacks. Creating additional full-time faculty positions and providing faculty raises does not appear to be the sole reason for these changes. In order to ascertain the president's reasoning, there should be submitted by the president a clear, concise rationale with numbers as to the reason for the administrative cutbacks. Additionally, additional concerns under point 2. We are concerned about the number of faculty and staff who are choosing early retirement rather than continuing with the current environment. This creates real challenges in meeting the needs of beginning a new semester in August 2013. Next point. We are concerned about the continued presence of certified counselors in addition to academic advisors needed to assist students. The continuance of qualified licensed student counseling is imperative in the wake of the incident at Virginia Tech and other almost regular incidents nationwide. This process needs to include the input from faculty and staff. Next point. The reassignment of longtime SFCC employees to an at-will status without access to progressive discipline and employment protection procedures is a concern. This concern is evident in the proposed revision of Policy 4-41. SFCC has a number of long-term employees, and we believe these valued individuals deserve continuing expectation of employment. The expanded application of Policy 4-41 deserves careful review. What is the process for future application of at-will status to already existing SFCC positions? Article 4. Current processes for the hiring and selection of the deans and chairs remain opaque to the majority of faculty and staff at SFCC. There is no process that permitted input or feedback from the various departments about their collective goals, and expectations in a new dean for a newly formed academic unit. This does not appear to be a quality process. Article 5. The duties assigned to deans and chairs need to be realistic and achievable. Also, many academic areas, such as the arts and sciences, have facilities to maintain, and these responsibilities must be formally acknowledged. The 10.5-month chair role will not answer needs over the summer months. Also, if these positions were made 12-month assignments, then 4 weeks of vacation would also be available. The 10.5-month assignment provides for just 2 less weeks of service than a 12-month assignment, but without any paid vacation time. This arrangement does not give the appearance of valuing people. This does not appear to be a quality process. Article number 6. There is currently a lack of formal review processes available to faculty and staff to offer critical feedback to chairs, deans, administration, and the president. Article 6A. We propose 360-degree evaluations for all administrative employees, including chairs, deans, vice presidents, and the president. This is consistent with quality principles and allows a process for reciprocal communication and continuous improvement. This is compatible with an educational environment where students are graded and faculty are evaluated. 360-degree evaluations will allow administration to understand how well they are successfully addressing the educational mission as well as other issues of importance to faculty and staff. Article number 7. It is unclear what process is being employed for renovation issues. What is the process for changes and updates, and who is responsible for implementation? Information from the Executive Council indicates that future renovations will occur at the cost of having local kitchens and conference rooms within areas. These facilities provide convenience and support to our faculty and staff. The kitchens and conference rooms in each school unify and enhance community and dialogue on our campus. These existing facilities need to be continued. The above recommendations are submitted in order that SFCC be in alignment with AQUIP and quality processes. If the President wishes to comply with the quality process, i.e., to ensure participation from the key stakeholders, this requires mechanisms for input and participation. Consensus decision-making leads to better decisions and develops an engaged faculty and staff, and therefore creates a higher quality educational experience for the student. In conclusion, the SFCC faculty support managed change, and that has the best interests of the students, institution, employees, and community at heart. Managed change is a healthy and expected process. There are, however, a number of questions and concerns about the pending academic affairs reorganization and college working environment. A difficult working environment develops when the employees witness or have perceptions about another employee's being verbally abused. This creates fear and anxiety about the system itself and degrades trust. People begin to doubt the equity and justice of processes. When employees are uncertain about how they may safely voice their concerns, cynicism and low morale develop, resulting in a generally unhealthy academic and workplace environment. Moving long-term employees to at-will status is perceived by employees as the first step towards termination. Several people have voiced interest in taking early retirement, but are fearful about inquiring about early retirement incentives for fear of termination. Other people are moving towards early retirement for fear of staying in the current environment. The communications at SFCC currently concentrate on saving money for the college rather than valuing people. This does not appear to be a quality process. The closing statement here is a direct quote from page 53 of the 2009-2010 Education Criteria for Performance Excellence. So I quote, "An organization's success depends increasingly on an engaged workforce that benefits from meaningful work, clear organizational direction, and performance accountability, and that has a safe, trusting, and cooperative environment. Additionally, the successful organization capitalizes on the diverse backgrounds, knowledge, skills, creativity, and motivation of its workforce and partners." Thank you.
Thank you, Clark. Clark, I have two questions. Since at the heart of your letter is the lack of feedback that you feel is there, how much feedback have you sought from the rest of the faculty beyond the 15 that participated in writing it? How much have you published it in? Have you sent an email? How have you?
It has not been broadly distributed until it was brought to you here today.
So beyond the 15 people, we don't know how many others agree with you, agree with the spirit?
Well, we can also, if you're looking for an alternative opinion to it, we can ask.
Not opinion, I'm asking for data, actually.
This represents, Dr. Bermudez, a long-standing presentation of discussion within Faculty Senate among people. I, over a course of several months, with assistance within Faculty Senate, continually tried to steer this toward a mollifying direction, to contain this and not bring this directly forward in this fashion. It has reached a point where I feel obligated to do so. And in the 3 meetings that we held this week, I was told in so many words that I had not been adequately representing a certain voice that is present within Faculty Senate. And so then I said, okay, what do you want to write? And this represents that constituency that you are hearing here today.
I appreciate you presenting it. I have another question. The
Yes, ma'am.
360, have you ever had a 360 at this institution before, the one
believe
you're
we have, yes,
requesting?
ma'am.
When did you have it?
Was it, oh, there's no one to look to.
Well, I was here when there was a 360 that never actually happened.
No, it happened.
It was conducted in 2004, but it was never publicized. We never found out what happened in that 360, so I don't consider that something executed. So have you had any after that?
We have had, Faculty Senate, in my recent memory over the past 4 years, had made continual requests to re-implement it. And then I do have an example of a 360 evaluation that was given to me by Susan Dugan, who is now deceased,
Right.
that is on a UNM provost. And I'm happy to share that.
No, I have,
and what it provides is an opportunity and mechanism for
I
formative
just
feedback.
wanted to know if you had experience with it at this.
Yes, ma'am, we do. Yes.
Okay. Any questions, comments, Dr. Guzman?
Well, Madam Chair, I have received, I received the letter from the Faculty Senate today at 3 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock, I received this, which, if you permit me, I would like to share.
Please.
Dr. Guzman, I want to bring an issue to your attention regarding the statement that will be read to the board by Clark tonight. I am an officer and have not seen the statement and have only a very vague idea about the content of it. Regardless of the content, I am quite upset at the fact that Clark didn't send the draft to all faculty via email and then had a vote on the content before being presented. When an officer of Faculty Senate is not even given an opportunity to read a statement being read to the board on behalf of all faculty, it is simply not acceptable, in my opinion. If the content is not representative of my personal interests, I will likely protest tonight. I understand from Clark that there are about 15 people who worked on the statement. I asked for a copy a few minutes ago and was told that I could have a copy after it was read. This is outrageous.
I would like to point out that the person in question had 3 opportunities this week to attend meetings. They were invited and chose not to participate. One officer's choosing to not participate cannot hold back the opinion of people that have very deep concerns that they need to put forward.
Any comments?
Yes, Madam Chair. I want to thank you, Clark, for bringing these concerns. I have been getting a number of calls and emails, well over 15, unfortunately, with sharing some of these concerns. I don't want to get into that now. I think the board will listen to all the information and we will work to help resolve these issues. I do want to say one thing, that it has always been the position of the board, and of course that could change with our new members, but it has always been the position of the board that we are elected officials and anyone may call us about anything. Call us, email us, whatever. And then it is our responsibility as board members to take that to our fellow board members and to the president. So, I mean, I certainly will be doing that, but there has been some comments about that faculty and staff and people are not allowed to talk to board members, and I want it just on the record tonight that elected officials, anybody can talk to us about anything. Now, as individual board members, we have no power. We only have power working together with the board, but you can talk to us about your issues.
Kathy, do you want to go ahead? Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for coming forward with some issues and offering some solutions to those. I think that's really important for us all moving forward to talk about what the solutions are, and I want to applaud you guys for doing that on the Faculty Senate. The other thing that I just want to clarify from your statement is one of the things that you've asked for is to move the reorg to a 2014-2015 timeframe. knowing that that includes a new pay schedule that has been vetted through the faculty and would obviously have an impact on all of you, do you feel strongly enough about this that you would delay that new pay schedule as well?
You know, I'd have to defer on that. I don't think anybody particularly wants to give up a raise. It's been difficult, I think, within certain element of faculty senate to expect to go forward and receive the raise and knowing that people are unhappy at a certain level or that there's been suffering associated to where there's a conscious decision. I'm not speaking for everybody necessarily, but I do know that opinion is held within. There's also an uncertainty of headed into the fall when we're counting 30 people maybe leaving before that time or sometime through that and coming into a fall semester without administrative support in the front offices of these schools. You know, it does not, there is a collective opinion within this body that that level of detail within that reorganizational model does not appear to be significantly worked through. You know, and then we're eager to like proceed to go forward, but we're asking that we know where we're going before we jump.
Thank you, Clark. I too appreciate your having brought this forward. And like Linda, I would say that individually we have no power. I have not received any phone calls, but then I am very new, and so people would not be thinking about calling me, so I'm afraid that Linda has borne the brunt of whatever phone calls have been made. But collectively, I think it is our responsibility to think about how this kind of feedback needs to be taken into consideration. And I guess what I would ask you, I mean, given the timeframes, given the deadlines that seem to be looming for some elements of this, including the budget, what are your best suggestions for expediting the process of coming to some consensus, of reaching some agreement about what can and should be done in the short term? I realize that higher education likes to take a lot of time to make decisions, and we may not have that option. So what would be your suggestions?
Well, we do not have access to the full budget in a way that I believe that we could give informed and detailed answers to you to make that decision. I would suggest to you that you need to look at the reorganizational chart and then determine where is the administrative support. I mean, the one that's closest to my sense of familiarity is the merger of liberal arts and liberal arts and core studies, fine arts and design, and then media arts. That right now there are 3, 4, 5 chairs in that model, and any number of administrative assistants, assistant administrative assistants, student workers, and we do not see that administrative support in that organizational chart, and that is not clear. And we really applaud Dr. Guzman's intent to return more instructional faculty to the classroom. We're not opposed to the reorganization, but going into a matter of not knowing, do we have administrative support to back up the cause of it? Faculty cannot expect to do all that or close those offices. You know, who is going to be covering the telephones? Who is going to be dealing with the paper? Who is going to be paying the bills? You know, and then how those resources become allocated is central to how that budget is going to supply this model. Or do we find ourselves going into it and then trying to find money behind it to put into it patchwork behind the event to cover it? And realize when you come back into the new semester, the new fiscal year, you're in the 1st of August. I mean, it's all hands on deck at that point. You know, so the decisions that we make here today are what's going to set the whole pace, morale, outlook, and success for fall 2013.
What kind of data would help you expedite?
I think the data we would need, I would request some assistance and assurances that you yourselves see that money and that it's going to work as a model. We don't see it. You know, is it our decision to approve the budget? It's not, actually. You know, I'm not sure we have that. We can get math faculty to help and assist in that process. You know, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You know.
Yeah, that's right, if we had any.
The chair's roles in the areas that I'm most familiar with, I mean, these are large areas. They're a lot of work, and then taking 3, 4, 5 chairs down to 1, that's a pretty big shift. And then again, as we mentioned here, those chairs then become 10.5-month faculty for only 2 weeks less of service. If it were a 12-month position, then you've got a month of vacation time in it. It seems to be constructed in a way that works people hard, and not really thinking it from the other side of that equation. All of those perceptions, one by one, are not grievous things, but when they're combined up, it contributes to deep concern.
We are not making any decisions tonight that would affect it one way or another.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we are not making any decisions tonight.
I understand. And I realize this is not easy, This is not a moment in the sun that I look forward to having to express this, but it is a voice that is prevalent and within the body of faculty that needs to be heard and expressed.
Well, we appreciate you doing it.
Thank you very much. And but it's also, please know that it comes from deep love and commitment on everybody's part to the college, the process, and education in northern New Mexico. We're not entering into this with any type of disrespect intended, but really trying to figure out how to do this best for everybody involved.
Thank you.